how not sleeping is actually killing you slowly. Out of all the things you can do to create health, sleep is near the top of the list. Let's say you're not getting at least 6 hours of sleep consistently. Your risk of premature death increases by 30%. Cancer risk increases by 40%. Increased risk of diabetes by 50%. Increasing your risk of dementia problems like Alzheimer's. There's a huge percentage of Alzheimer's patients that just don't sleep. And also just getting 1 hour or 4 hours of sleep will literally shut down your immune system by 70%. Why do we really need sleep? One of the reasons is that sleep is the best way to clean your brain. There's a certain effect that sleep does to your brain. It acts like a dishwasher. It's cleaning the brain of damaged proteins. In sleep, you're actually cleaning those proteins out of the brain, but only if you're actually getting real sleep. When you take a sleep medication, it might create some type of sedation, but you're not getting the quality of sleep. The other thing that's really important to know is what alcohol does to your sleep. This is why when people drink alcohol just a little bit, they snore more, they have more sleep apnea, they're tossing and turning more. One of the main purposes of sleeping is cleaning out the brain. The second one is repairing and restoration of the entire body, including your immune system. And this is why when we don't get enough sleep, our immune system just shuts down and then things start happening in a negative way. Our brain becomes more vulnerable to infections. Let's first start with the REM sleep. REM sleep happens in several stages, more in the second half of sleep. The brain activity is very similar to when you're awake, kind of like you have muscle paralysis, but you can have very vivid dreams that you remember. This part of the sleep has a really unique function of supporting certain parts of the brain involved in creativity, memories, problem-solving activities. This is why a lot of discoveries are related to this stage of sleeping, because people will get these great ideas from a dream. REM sleep is also involved in improving more social interactions with people, more emotional stability, a better mood through the day, and having more empathy with people. Now let's get into the other phase of sleep called the non-REM sleep. This is the deep sleep. Most of the repair happens in this delta wave sleep. There's a cleaning up of unnecessary connections in the brain in this phase. It's very similar to you working in the garden with your tomato plants where you're trimming them down because they're just growing too much and you need to trim them up so other things can grow better. The problem is with age, the deep delta wave sleep becomes diminished to the point where you reach 60 years old, you have like 90% less of this non-REM delta wave sleep. When you're 18, you don't have a problem with this. You probably sleep like a rock and everything is fine. In this delta wave sleep, you have fat burning, you have cell regeneration and repair going on. And this is where your body can fight infection the most too. There are certain things that will just kill the delta wave sleep. Alcohol is at the top of the list. Now let's get into what to do to really optimize your sleep. I've had years of waking up feeling so tired I couldn't even think mentally. It was like a helmet over my head. And of course, I did everything wrong, eating a lot of Ben & Jerry's and trying to induce a deeper sleep. It never really worked. I tried alcohol. That didn't work. It actually made me worse. Never drive if you have not slept. Over 100,000 accidents occur every single year in the United States because they're not sleeping and they're drowsy through the day. And some of these are fatal car accidents. Let's go through the list of things that you can do to improve your sleep. Avoiding alcohol. Instead, use kombucha tea. It gives a similar effect. It'll make you feel calm. It'll give you the same texture as alcohol. Regular aerobic exercise, whether it's going to be on the treadmill or going for long walks. You're going to reduce a lot of stress. In the wintertime when it's really cold and I don't go outside much, I don't sleep as well. Next thing is to avoid eating too late at night and definitely eating large meals at night where you just go to bed where you're stuffed. That'll keep you up. If you're doing intermittent fasting, take 2 of those meals and have them more on the early part of the day. That way you will sleep better. Eating late at night, I don't need all that energy right before bed. And especially if you're eating too much protein, that can keep you up. I remember growing up and we did a lot of snacking and I used to work at a theater and I was the person who made the popcorn. I would bring home a garbage bag full of popcorn on a regular basis and we would all just eat mindless. It's very important to have your room be slightly cooler. I like to use a sheet, not a blanket when I sleep. I like to crack the window open. Also, it has to be dark. The other thing about sleep is making sure you don't do too much caffeine, tea, coffee, and chocolate. I just have one small cup of coffee in the morning. When I do more than that, it does affect my sleep because it takes a period of time for your liver to get rid of this caffeine. And if you have too much, it can prevent that delta wave sleep. Too much blue light from the cell phone or your computer. You can get these blue blockers and wear them if you're watching TV. Try to, at least a couple hours before bed, turn off the lights, kind of keep it dim so it's not so bright, especially the blue lights. You don't want that. If you just filter the blue light, you'll retain more melatonin. Melatonin helps induce the sleepiness. Getting enough sun during the day can definitely help you sleep at night for various reasons. Of course, the vitamin D. 50% of the sun is infrared, and infrared can increase melatonin in all of your cells. And also any other type of orange or yellow flame, whether a bonfire, a fireplace, candles, you can get more infrared. The other thing is when you go to bed, let's say, for example, at 8:30, you're like really tired. Just go to bed. Don't go to bed by the clock. Go to bed when you're tired. Because if you push through that tiredness and all of a sudden you wake up, now it's going to take you longer to go to bed because everything works on a wave. And sometimes these waves are 90-minute cycles. The other thing is the movies that you watch before bed. If I'm watching anything action, it's going to take a long time to go to bed. I'm not tired. I would watch even a Hallmark movie because it just literally puts me to sleep. I know some people in different social situations around family and things and holidays, there's always going to be some snacks involved. You're going to have blood sugar issues. You probably would be better off doing some type of berries or fruit than popcorn, starch, things like that. Even like when you do nuts before bed, you're going to feel a lot of bloating around your gallbladder, and that can definitely keep you up. As far as nutrients go, the three most important: magnesium, vitamin D, and zinc. Magnesium is involved in the contraction and relaxation of muscles. Your muscles will be less tense. Magnesium is necessary for producing energy. You need energy to go to sleep. Some people are too tired to go to sleep. The type of magnesium you want is magnesium glycinate. The time to take that would be in the evenings. It actually can help you increase melatonin. Then we get to vitamin D. Vitamin D is needed to decrease inflammation in the body, especially in your lower back. It also helps you make melatonin. Vitamin D will increase the duration of sleep. What about zinc? Zinc is involved in making dopamine and melatonin and serotonin, all these key neurotransmitters, and improve your overall repair of the body. But there's one more thing that I'm going to highly suggest that you do. Introduce a probiotic in the form of something that you can culture and make called reuteri. Making it yourself with a yogurt maker. Reuteri is absent in 96% of the population, and it is the microbe that can help increase your oxytocin and serotonin. This is why it's so important in sleep. If you're not consuming enough salt, you may find your sleep is going to be off. You need sodium to help you sleep. Try to have a little more salt during the day, or even maybe in the later part of the day, take 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, mix in some water, drink it down, and just see if you don't sleep better. The bottom line is, if you want to live longer, but not just live longer, live a quality of life, focus on sleep. I just gave you a roadmap on all the things that you can do right now to fix your sleep. And if you wanted to see that video related to building up that microbe that can help you sleep, reuteri, you should watch it. It's right here.